Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Perry with Premier Guitar here in Nashville, Tennessee at the Mercy Lounge. Hanging out. It's kind of a celebration. This is a 15-year celebration of A to B life.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting. Let's talk
Mike.
about it.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Mike Weiss.
Yeah.
He's been doing this band for a little over 15 years now, right? 16 years. That's crazy.
Original member. Just stoked to be doing this tour. We were actually able to do the songs on, bigger stages, like real PA, like great sound. Because when we originally released the record, it was like VFW halls and just dive bars, no PA, and just it's cool to just hear yourself and everything's sounding great.
Almost
so.
like reimagined in a way.
It is, yeah. Just we kind of gave up on a lot of these songs, and recently dusted them off one by one on like tours we've done recently, and then we just realized like, wait a minute, we like this record, and
it's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's great. It's clearly pretty different from what you're doing now.
Yeah,
not that different.
I mean, I'll say this: we're in the process of making a new record right now, and a lot of the things that inspired us back then are sort of surfacing in our current state, and I really have reimagined a lot of the things that we tried to do with this A to B Life record, and it's been super inspiring.
Man, it makes me feel really old that this is a 15-year-old
You're old,
record.
and that makes me ancient.
It's almost like mind-blowing to think about like how many bands were influenced, not only from your early records, but like even your newer stuff. Like I feel like bands like the Front Bottoms totally borrow a lot of your sound and like.
Hey man, borrow away.
Borrow away, yeah, totally. That's how I feel about it too.
We had plenty of things that we've borrowed along the way
from
other bands for sure. So.
But obviously A to B is a super influential record.
Cool.
And I'm excited to hear that tonight, and I know the fans. Didn't you guys do Catch Fest of Foxes tours?
Hey man,
like last year or something?
We were into it, man. It's like.
Also, great record, dude.
Yeah, it was the same kind of thing where we wanted to celebrate the anniversary of the record coming out. It was 10 years. That was back in 14. So because it originally was an 04 release. So yeah, we're just doing it. Just having fun.
All right. With all that said, are you? First question out of the gate: are you gearing your? Are you kind of like? Is your setup geared towards A to B Life, or are
totally?
You, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Totally geared towards A to B Life. It's obviously like the 80-90% of what we're doing every night.
Sure.
And, that's
so as far as like amps, guitars, it's all kind of
exactly right. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, for the most part, I usually have 3 guitars, 4 guitars, and I just have the 2. Keeping it simple, making it super streamlined, and it's cool. That's the advantage of doing like a one record tour is you can kind of. Especially with A to B Life, because it's like that particular record was recorded in like 10 days. We didn't get a chance to turn every knob and sort of like experiment with tons of different things. Exactly.
Yeah.
So back then it was a JCM 900, all my guitar tracks, maybe a couple Vox AC30s for some of the cleans. So this was all about not owning a JCM 900 anymore, but trying to be able to get that going through my rig that I have
current
now.
setup. Cool.
Yeah, totally.
Which, let's start with guitars.
Yeah.
This is a mainstay. I've seen you play this on bunch.
This is all. Don't tell my wife this, but really this is the only guitar I need.
Hope she's not watching.
Yeah, babe. Look, I need to buy more. All right, but no, this is always the one that I kind of come back to. That never does me wrong. It's a 03. I bought it back in 03, brand new.
Brand new.
And
it's seen some love for sure.
Yeah, it's just being from a huge Radiohead sort of fanboy background. I had to buy a Telecaster,
totally.
And Johnny Greenwood is my hero, always will be, and so that's where that started. And yeah, it's been real faithful for me. I've had to replace a lot of the parts, being that they got rusted out or whatever. Just being
that looks like a newer
graphite bridge,
cool.
And then we had to replace the pickups.
Did you go with just a stock like Telly set?
Just the stock Telly pickups, and
if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, and it's just really comfortable for me to play. It's got a real. I don't know, it's got a real character to the way it looks too, which isn't bad. I kind of like the way it's gotten a little bit of wear and tear over the years.
Yeah.
So
I've always like listened to Me Without You and kind of thought, dang, they find this like really awesome place in between distortion and in between fuzz.
Yeah.
And it makes sense now that, single coils are probably a big part of that.
Yeah, the clarity, because I find that for the most part, the humbuckers are usually taking up a little bit too much low end, and then I can't really play around with my fuzz tones as much.
Sure.
And then also I'm losing hearing, so like I need to be able to hear the higher frequencies, because maybe I've kind of lost the ability to hear them as well.
Yeah. So. Man, that's a super fun guitar, but
yeah.
I couldn't stop oogling over this since I walked in here.
Yeah, this is
Aaron's, right?
This is Aaron's guitar that he got. He traded in an SG for it. Chicago Music Exchange hooked him up. We got this just for him to be able to play on some of the Pale Horses stuff that we have him playing.
Because he comes out once in a while and plays,
yeah,
right?
we have him as a third guitar player, electric, for a couple songs. He's not doing that on this tour, but in the meantime, I've really kind of taken to, like I was saying, getting kind of dialed into the A to B life kind of stuff. This guitar has been sounding really good for songs that have a lot of palm muting.
Sure, because the
it's just chunkier, and it's coming through the mix a little bit better for me. And yeah, this has been a great guitar for this tour.
Have you had any like feedback issues with it, running a bunch of pedals?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. The sort of like cool like Pumpkins thing where like, you know, you want to get a little feedback on like a pause beat, you know.
It's something kind of swell behind you a little bit.
Yeah, like dennett.
Yeah.
It's this is the guy for that.
Have you guys done anything to it?
No, it's just
that's the way it came.
It is how the factory made it, and yeah, so
it's a beautiful guitar, man. I think those are so cool. It's almost like
they're gorgeous.
It's got its own thing. It's not really a 335, but it kind of does that, but it not like
yeah. And I just like the Fender-ness of it. I don't know if that makes any sense. It might just be my imagination, but it doesn't really feel like a, you know.
Is it a normal Fender scaling? Because it almost looks a little short.
It could be. I think it could be short 1 or 2 frets as compared to the Tele. I never noticed.
It sure is gorgeous, man. I love a Sunburst.
Yeah, they sound great.
Cool. And then in the past, I've seen you playing AC30s almost primarily.
Yeah, that was the amp that I'd had for so many years, and then I kind of got frustrated because they have these amazing overdrive channels. Like the top boost channel is sick, but it's not dual channel. It is dual channel, but you can't switch.
Oh, you have to like manually change.
Yeah, and I tried to do like a AB, like a Morley switcher, and try to, because I want the clean tone and I want the overdrive. It's like a TS9 kind of sound for the overdrive, but I just ended up getting too frustrated with it. It would break a lot on tour. It wasn't like holding up for me.
Was it an older one?
It was a newer one. I bought it in, you know, probably in like 07 or 08, but you know, the reverb tank just kept going out, and that's the other thing about the AC30s is they have the high drive and the low drive option on the reverb, which is like, there's so many things that if I were able to, I guess, you know, you can get mods done, but I don't know. I would really love an AC30 to have channel selection and a way to select different reverb drives, because there's like a lot of really versatile things you can do with the AC30. However, I just kind of lost my desire to try to keep up with getting that versatility to be able
putting in a lot of moving parts to make it
in a live situation. Like in the studio, it's amazing. You can just do whatever you want. But that prompted me to just focus my energy on like, okay, let me find an amp that just has the most well-rounded clean tone. Devote yourself to your pedals and just keep all the things. Like anybody knows how to work on a twin reverb.
It's a common amp.
It's got an amazing reverb tank built into it, which I love to use. And opposed to the AC30, it can take a little bit more shock before it gives you that kind of sound. So that's kind of cool too. Yeah, so I'm loving the Twin. I just added a couple of Celestion vintage 30 speakers.
212 cab.
Yeah.
Just to get a little more stage volume.
Just to have a little more like they're a little bassier. I find the V30s. And they add a little bit more room for my overdrive. It's more like for the fuzz and the distortion. Where it's just nice to have a little bit more kind of headroom there before it breaks up.
Before it starts
too much.
Cracking,
yeah.
I'm sure you're a lot like me, you know, like when we were younger and playing in hardcore bands, like obviously tube distortion was a thing.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I feel like a clean platform for pedals is a better way to go about it. And it sounds like kind of you've come to the same conclusion.
That's where I've come to it with it myself. Yeah,
that's
totally.
real cool.
Yeah.
Man, is this like something? Is this cartage or is this your amp?
This is my amp.
Cool.
Yeah, totally.
Very cool.
This is what replaced the AC30. And but like I said before, speaking of all the A2B Life stuff, back when I first started playing in hardcore bands, it was all about having the Marshall half stack.
Sure.
And for me back then, it was an 800 and then a 900, which I've gone back and rediscovered my love for the 800s in the studio.
Awesome. Yeah. It's a one-trick pony, but it's an awesome trick that it does. Yeah.
Because we just made a record. Producer Will Yip in his studio, he's got some really amazing Marshall amps. He's got a JCM 800 Marshall, and he's got this other Marshall that Slash used, and it was owned by like the Black Crows, and it's called the Jubilee. It's so sick.
Those are cool.
Yeah, we did a lot with that too.
Man, so. I would love to get a look at that 800 of Yip's because almost every record coming out that he's done is not only flawless, but it has that 800 on it. Like I just talked to the guys from Citizen the other day, and they recorded with that same amp, and it's like, dang, that is a rock tone, man. It's so good.
It's great. It's like that and the high watt, the 100 watt. Those three heads were just basically for all the real crunchy overdrive stuff. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Hey, Will Yip, if you just happen to be watching this, huge fan.
What's up, Will?
Want to record with you? Anyway, I guess that covers this stuff. Let's talk about pedals.
Let's do it.
All right, Mike. This is my favorite part of a rig rundown. The noisemakers. Let's talk about it. I guess let's start with your signal chain because you kind of have a lot going on here.
Yeah, I'm going into a Crybaby Dunlop wah that.
Some pretty gnarly wah and A to B.
Yeah, the A to B Life stuff. One thing I wanted to be able to do with this wah pedal was to emulate Electro-Harmonix Qtron envelope filter, which is a huge pedal, and it's expensive and it's on one song. So I wanted to. It's one of those things where if I could get it going with the wah and like emulate that sound, it's not going to be perfect.
But yeah, so what do you cop the wah a little bit?
Yeah, so with that, it's just like trying to get like a. It's not as high-endy as the envelope filter, but. And yeah, it's cool. Like. That comes in handy for that solo.
It's not too far of a cry for that solo.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think it's too,
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's like I said, it's really what I use normally when we're touring. I don't need an envelope filter at all, but that wah seems to work out in that capacity, so it's pretty cool. Then we're going into tuner, blah blah blah. This is always on. This is
you leave the Archer on?
It's always. This is never off. It's just a boost.
I was going to say, are you using it for just a little bit of a clean boost?
Just a little bit of a clean boost is all I ever need with that, and it's really the main clean sound for the rig.
It'll wake your amp up for sure.
Yeah, totally. It does. It's a good way to put it. Then we're going into the Walrus Harvester.
Fun stuff. What are you using that for?
So this is just for anything overdrive related. Super bright, super clear.
It's not over the top either. It's just it's kind of just starting to break up.
Yeah, it's like it's just a really quality overdrive pedal. I've been through so many. A lot have been really great pedals, but they don't stand up. They rot out on me or whatever. And this has been a great one.
Live, are you working your volume at all?
Yeah.
Just to clean up or anything?
Yeah, you mean like in the middle of a set? Yeah. I'm always that guitar player that's like messing with his pedals too much on stage, and it's probably driving everybody in the band crazy, but whatever. But then we're moving on. Like the Walrus guys are so talented with all of the different drive gain stages. So like I just wanted to keep it going with the distortion. with the Iron Horse. So like, this is basically the whole A2B Life sound live is. That's for all of like the JCM 900 sort of emulation. It's all the Iron Horse.
So it's Iron Horse, and you're also running.
That's correct.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, I just like the way that the EQ kind of shapes up with both of these together.
Sure.
And then this just provides.
Also gives you a really easy access to little gain, gain, and then a lot of gain.
And that's the way I do it every day when I set up. I kind of get my sounds for the different rooms, and it's always just about getting it stepped up from one to the other. And that takes us to the big stuff, which is a buddy of mine, Andrew Wilson, has a company called Cameltone, and he makes all these amazing cables, and he also has all these pedals. And so we were just setting up my board one time before tour, and he said, I have this muff pedal that sounds like Jay Mascis. And I just said, okay, like that's all you have to say.
Done.
Like, can I have it? So apparently, and what he told me was that there was a factory, I guess, like they produced one of these muff pedals where the components were actually in the wrong order, and it produced this sound that Jay Mascis really liked. And so I'm not a huge fuzz like professor. I've seen people nerd out and I'm in awe of their knowledge, and I try to keep up as best I can. But I love this pedal. It's really cool. Like, we use it for a lot of the newer stuff. Like, I love the way it just.
That sounds like an amp really working.
Yeah, and it's cool to have
too much.
Yeah, it's cool to have that other cabinet too. But yeah, like. It's got a little bit of attack there. It's not. The cool thing about it is it has a little bit of articulation when you want to do things like.
It's not all flubbed
like that
out.
Corgan kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Big shout out.
That sounds great.
Cherub Rock, one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so then we go into the X4 Flashback, which is a delay modeler. You got your 3 patches, you got your tap tempo, and it's, to me, just, no offense to Line 6. I mean, I had DL4s.
I was going to say, it's almost like reminiscent of the DL4.
I had, DL4 after DL4 after DL4, and they break, and I get them modded, I get new switchers. Yeah, it's like when you get to your 4th potential DL4, it's like, okay, maybe I should try something else.
Was it an easy switch?
It was an easy switch. It's a great pedal. It has way more loop time than the DL4, which
was like DL4 is like 14 seconds or something.
So you got about 45 seconds with this guy.
Oh, gnarly. Are you
Don't
looping
quote me on that, but it's a lot longer.
More than, yeah.
And then
are you looping a lot with it?
Looping with it, like constantly using it for when I'm writing. It's like I can't write without it.
Sure, because it's
for multi-tracking.
Play a riff and then you can.
I don't like to commit to just tracking. I like to be able to just record something. Doesn't work, just move on to the next thing. It's super easy. I don't have to set up any mics. It's just super,
I'm guessing the preset situation is like the DL4 where you dial sound in and just hold it down.
Yeah, man, you got your choice.
Easy.
All the presets are just basically the same kind of idea. And then you can actually program, or like you can download 4 different ones.
Does it have like
internet.
tone prints or something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
tone prints. That's exactly right. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So moving on from there, we have the tap tempo tremolo, the semaphore, which is, I use that for one song. So like all the knobs are taped up.
Just so it doesn't move. Sure.
Yeah, this is just what we use to get into the set.
Nice.
That's
it's a nice warble.
Yeah, it's like a square wave setting. It's meant. I used to have a tremulator by Demeter Electronics tremolo pedal for the original A2B Life recordings and touring, and I had to sell it. And this is a great pedal by Caitlin Bread. Our friend Boris gave that to us.
Very
and
cool.
It's working out amazingly for this tour. Moving on to the, this is my favorite reverb pedal that exists. This is well, I guess within like a reasonable price range.
Sure.
The Boss RV5.
So would you say you use that more than the reverb on the amp?
No, that's a great question. I actually use the reverb on the amp for the spring reverb sound because it's like the original.
It's
what they're trying to make happen with these pedals, and that's.
So you washing stuff out like is a lot with that?
No, like this is for the. I use it for gate reverb, which you can hear.
Oh wow!
You hear like a lot of gate reverb on like drums, like from the '80s and stuff like that. But let me see something. Yeah. So like that's for like. Just kind of gives you a little bit of shine, and then it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's great that you have both options.
Yeah. So there's that. Then we're using the super shifter for all the octave stuff, and then if we want to do like the pitch shifting, you can do a lot of cool stuff with that. This is a pedal that will never leave my pedal board for the rest of my life.
The Old Blood Noise?
I recently acquired from our friend Brady from Old Blood Noise. It's the Procession. If you haven't heard about it yet, you should get it. It's a reverb pedal, but basically like tremolo on top of the reverb or flange or some sort of like filter. But I use it for everything now. Sorry, I'll turn that off. The coolest thing about it is just like the
momentary feature, awesome.
Yeah, like this is really like, well, guys like me, I like to just play real simple music over like padded sounds. So like I can accomplish that with this pedal. So
does the little dip switch just give you different options for?
This guy makes, so there's a tremolo, or you could go flange, which I'm starting to get back into big time.
Ooh. It's not an annoying flange at all. You know what I mean? It's like, it's got some little spirits in there too.
It's got
like
some
that.
spirits, yeah. And then there's this one, which I'm sort of like, I'm excited about too. It's like kind of like a phaser, but
oh wow,
you don't need to go that big with it.
Take me on down to Funky Town.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like got a weird sweep in there. An honorable mention. Here's another one, Darkstar, which I can't explain what it is actually. You just have to do it. It's got a lot of cool features to it that it involve pitch shifting on 2 different channels. It has a delay, and it has a weird crush, which sounds sort of like an 8-bit sort of delay.
Like a sag almost, like it's amp blowing apart or something like that.
Exactly. Or it kind of sounds like 8-bit, kind of like
Nintendo game?
Exactly.
Like
I don't know, maybe
polyphonic kind of sound?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. And I really don't know if I'm correct with that, but that's what it sounds like to me, at least.
Will that find its way onto your board eventually?
Yeah, this is a big part of the stuff I've been working on recently, and it will definitely. It's just here because I just love talking about it. So
well, I'm glad you brought it out for us to check it out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, what is that, a Ibanez pedal?
Oh yeah, this guy, like, I'll throw him in there whenever we do one song. This is really here for. So, I kind of ran out of room with.
Sure.
I need it if we do a song called "Tie Me Up, Untie Me," which sometimes we put on the set list. So yeah, man, that's it. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know. It's always changing though, so we'll see.
Yeah, are you that kind of player that like swaps stuff constantly?
Totally. I don't know if if I'll ever stop like looking for my favorite pedal for this
chasing
or that.
the dragon.
Always just like surfing the wave. Totally.
Man, well, hey, this has been an absolute pleasure. I'm excited.
For me too. Thank you so much.
I'm very excited for the show.
Yeah.
And I will see you I guess this evening. We're gonna go get the rest of the guys.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, guys. Now we're on the other side of the stage with Brandon Beaver.
What's up, man?
Thank you guys for doing this.
Of
I really
course,
appreciate it.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Our pleasure, for sure.
All right, man. we'll do guitars and amps first.
Great.
I know you've got some great stories. I've seen you with this red Gibson.
Yeah.
Is it a 335?
This is a Gibson 335. Crazy story. This was found in the trash in Philadelphia. I had a buddy of mine worked for like a junking company that they basically go to estates and just toss everything out into the trash.
The stuff that wasn't purchased in an estate sale or something?
Yeah, exactly. Or sometimes they'll be called before an estate sale just to be like, there's a room full of stuff, we just want that out of the house or whatever.
You've got to be
So
kidding
he
me.
went and he called me. They're not supposed to do this, but he called me and was like, yo, I'll give you 10 minutes to get down here. And he showed it to me. He's like, yeah, it looks like it's worth something. I was like, dude, that's a really nice guitar. And he was like, yeah, $10.
Do you know what year it is?
$10. Yeah, it's a 67.
Get out.
It's a 67, and it was basically all original, except for the strap pins. I put new ones in, but all original. Had a little bit of work done on it. And it sounds like a dream. No, it's an amazing guitar.
That's like winning the guitar lottery.
It was crazy. Yeah, and I told him, I was like, this is a really, and he was like, nah, it's all good.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you done? Have you switched pickups or anything like that?
Yeah. So these pickups, I had a guy actually near Pennsylvania who used to work for Martin, and he took the guitar. He loved it, and he rewound all the pickups and said I don't even know what this is. He said it was a Kalamazoo setting. I don't even know what that means. But it's just basically hot rodded. So like at a stage like this, I basically can't play it. It's just like, it's the most hot guitar. It's so high output. But for larger stages, it's a dream.
When you're not near your amp,
exactly.
I'm sure it sounds
great.
great.
And it sounds incredible. But I love this guitar, and so I mean, if I can kind of balance it with the amp sometimes if I really want to play it.
I gotta admit, I'm toast jelly. That is the most unicorn guitar story I've ever heard.
It's pretty nuts. Yeah, I love this guitar.
That's so rad.
It's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, this is a Fender Deluxe Telecaster from. This is a 73.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got this at actually Chicago Music Exchange a while ago, and I just love it. And I had
this burl is gorgeous too.
Isn't it awesome?
That's
It's
so
great.
cool.
Yeah, I saw it and I was just like, I kind of fell in love with it from afar. I was like, what is that one? And I had a little bit of work done on it, but I had Lawler pickups put in, which are just awesome sounding.
Did you put
in? They're. You know what? I actually don't know. I don't know what
Imperials
they were like.
Are they high gain or like?
They are high gain. Yeah, but they don't. It's nothing like compared to this. It's like manageable, but they just sound insane.
Solid.
Yeah, they sound so good in this guitar.
They look good in that guitar too.
Yeah, they really
do.
They almost
look big,
Yeah, and obviously I'm a big humbucker dude, and we'll probably get into that with the amp, but I like kind of striking that balance with the Fender, and this just it was like perfect. It was it hit such a perfect balance with my Fender. So it's a great guitar.
And I love how it has the Les Paul setup, so it's like not unfamiliar.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It felt very familiar, which Mike obviously is like a telly dude. And he kind of got me onto this, where I was just like, I love the way they sound, and this sounded like a nice blend between like the semi hollows that I like, and so it just is. It's awesome, man. It's a cool guitar.
One problem I've always had with Les Pauls live is that they put the pickup selector right here, and I hit it.
Oh yeah.
Is it hard not to hit it?
It kind of is. It's funny you say that, because I find that too. I'm a pretty expressive guitar player. Sure. And I definitely have had that. I used to tape it down, but now I tend to.
I'm sure you're going back and forth.
Yeah, I usually switch between the bridge and the blend, but yeah, I definitely have done that a couple times. You gotta be on it.
It happens because it'll throw you off. You're like, what changed?
Exactly. Oh. Yeah. So, but it's a great guitar, man. I do. I love it. Yeah.
What kind of neck profile does that bad boy have? Because some of the '70s ones are, that's
actually pretty
totally reasonable.
It's totally. It's not a big, thick.
Some
neck.
of the deluxes felt like a baseball bat. Yeah. Wow,
yeah, and that's
cool.
actually what's funny about this 67 is it's actually, if you feel it, a lot of those guitars have thick necks. This is actually
very thin neck.
Very thin for those. So it was
if you guys can see that, but it's actually probably one of the thinnest necks I've felt on a 335.
I was amazed, and which is perfect because it fits.
And the action looks pretty low considering.
Very low. I did have him do that. I wanted the action a little bit lower, but yeah, exactly. I like those. The thin necks, and funny enough, the last guitar, which is kind of my main, funny enough, is just a dot. Yeah. We've toured with a couple of bands where they were always making fun of me, being like, "This is your main guitar," and I was like, you know what? I know this guitar so well.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's something about it. The funny thing is, I used to have one. This is a Chinese-made one, so it's it's not that great of a guitar, but the thing is, I used to have a Korean-made one that was amazing, but it broke. We flew to Southeast Asia, and headstock, broke. And this was the replacement that I got, and it's fine. It does the job, man. Yeah, and for this A to B stuff that we're doing, it just can manage the heavy stuff so well. And so I love it.
Does it howl at you? You know,
not really.
I mean,
I can like manage it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's really it does howl if there's that kind of like where you are in respect to your amp. This I can just work with it so well. Compared to this, it's just unwieldy.
Unpredictable.
Yeah. And which is like I said, on larger stages, it's great. For this room, this will be ideal.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but it's just the regular old Dot, man. Nothing special.
And they're pretty, man. I think they're pretty.
Like
I think they're
stock.
great. Yeah.
It's a great guitar, man. It really is.
Man. I don't know. Like people like to talk, but like I know a lot of dudes that play Sheratons and other Epiphone stuff. That's great.
We did a European tour where I played. I played a Sheraton. I really loved it. They're cool. Heavy ass guitar though, man.
Yeah, they're backbreakers for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is somewhere in the middle, but yeah. It's a great guitar. It works out well,
Ben from Lucero swears by those things, and I almost felt like I needed a hazmat suit to touch his. It was so gross and just covered in blood and sweat and beer. And
I have to admit, I polished this up before you guys got here.
Did you really?
A little bit. Yeah, I didn't
put
put too much elbow grease into it, but a little bit.
Are these stock?
All stock. Yeah, all stock.
Hey, you can't beat that. And then if it breaks, you know where to get one. I mean,
dude,
it's that easy.
And not expensive. Yeah, easier. Totally. Yeah, it's a great guitar, man. And it handles my rig like super well. So
awesome. All right, well, talking about rig, you're running a Fender as well, right? Like a twin reverb?
I run the. Sorry, I don't know what side you want me on. I run just the Fender Twin. Nothing fancy, man. This is the reissue. And the thing is I often have a lot of issues with the spring reverb in this, like it breaks all the time. And so we'll probably get into that with my pedals, but I kind of compensate. But when this is working, it's a dream. It's like amazing. It's an amp I've always known. I just know this amp so well.
I mean, if you're comfortable with it, then
exactly.
Yeah, totally.
And the thing I love about the Fender Reverb is that the Twin I can just match my guitar in the middle so well, especially for these like humbuckers. I can just dial it into where it gets that perfect sweet spot that I really like. Yeah.
So I've never had this happen. When the reverb tank breaks on that, does it just there's no reverb, or it just does that?
No, you don't even hear that. I mean, it's just nothing. Yeah.
Dry.
Yeah, just super dry, which I've like learned to compensate with with pedals, but I love it to work. But I had a guy work on it last tour because it broke mid-tour, and he like soldered it directly, but it breaks all the time. So it's not a resounding thing, but it's one of those things where like when you have it working, it just sounds
perfect.
Amazing.
I get that, man.
Yeah.
And then I see it slide an EBO. Are you using that on this?
Yeah, I do. Not so much on this tour. I use the EBO a bit on this tour.
Sure.
And the slide, it depends. On this tour, we're doing like an A set and a B set, funny enough. But the B set, the second set, yeah, exactly. It depends on what songs we're doing. It changes every night, and so there's a couple songs where I use slide, so I'd have it in case I need it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I totally forgot to ask Mike about this, but strings, gauges, are you guys?
Yeah,
pretty similar?
we're Ernie Ball dudes.
Okay.
Yeah. I play 11s. I think he plays 10s. He switches. I think sometimes. It depends maybe on his guitar, but yeah, Ernie Ball dudes. They're awesome to us. So I feel the difference between the gauges. 11s. I don't know.
Much for you?
I actually like. I'm an 11 guy.
Really?
Yeah, I like to fight my guitar.
Is he tense because he's bending more or something like that?
I guess so. Yeah. He does a little bit more like we share like lead stuff a lot, but I guess there's something about the pull of it. I like fighting it a little bit.
Yeah, I get that. I hear that from a lot of players. Yeah, they want to.
Like I said, I play really aggressively, and so I feel like they can kind of take it a little bit better. I've switched to tins before, and I'm like, whoa! It's like it's like my bends are crazy, like Malmsteen style. So
that's awesome, man. Well, hey, we've covered guitars and amps. Yeah. Now on to the fun stuff.
Cool, man. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So right out of the gate, I have to say, good job.
Thank you, man.
So clean. The cabling looks great, and I love that you're using a switcher. That's cool.
Yeah, I love it, man. This is it's pretty new. This is I think our second tour that I've been running this, maybe third. But But yeah, it was a game changer for me. It was something that I have always been kind of interested in, just for the functionality of being able to
not tap dance as much.
Not tap dance, yeah, because not so much on this tour, but on other tours, I tend to. There's a lot of tap dancing going on, and this is just like revolutionized that for me. Just being able to hit one switch, have all the different effects I want on, is just like a dream. Yeah. So
what's the most really pedals you have in one loop?
Man, probably. There's one that I think I have 6 on,
wow.
or 7, something maybe. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's pretty crazy.
How cool is that though? Without having to.
Yeah, and then having to worry about tapping all the ones off. Yeah, and the coolest thing about it that I'll say is the timeline up here, the delay. My favorite thing about this is that it can read MIDI, right? So it can switch that timeline for me. So if you watch that timeline up there,
it'll change the tap and everything.
It changes the tap, it changes my tempos, whatever. I'm doing whatever the preset I have on it. And then all I have to worry about is the A and B up here, you know, between the 2 delay types that I want or whatever.
That really slims it down.
It's incredible, man. Yeah, it really has revolutionized how I can quickly switch between effects during a song or songs, you know.
Sure.
And it's crazy, like I said, it has a whole bunch of different programmability that you can do in it. You can do it by set list, so you could even program it to switch through songs. Yeah, I mean, so much functionality. It's crazy. I don't use it for all that, but you know, pretty minimalistic.
Well, it's nice to know that you could if you had to,
if I learn it. If I take the time. I'm pretty lazy, so. You know.
What else we got on this board? Walk me through the signal chain.
All right, cool. So I have the first thing I have going through is the Cali 76, which is just compression, which I never used compression until I got this pedal. It was a game changer, man. It was because it's so transparent. It's such a nice pedal. It just sounds perfect. It's just like a perfect sounding pedal to me, you know. And it helps with some stuff where like anytime I'm doing something clean, it'll just boost it just enough to meet the overdrives. Yeah, it's great. It's super great. So. That's an always-on pedal for me.
Always on.
Yeah, and then I have that going into, that's obviously my Sonic Research tuner. Just pretty basic. It's
really cool. You can see it. It's
awesome tuner.
Bright.
I love it. It's a great, as far as strobe tuner goes, it's my favorite. And the signal path, I have no idea after that.
Oh, I guess because
it's a looper. So I don't know what's but as far as I go up to the loop chain here, and now this is all the individual pedals. So they're sort of oddly labeled here, but this is just an oil can delay, which is here. It's the Catlin Bred Add an Echo, which is just a super cool oil can delay.
Let's
just
hear
has
it.
this real nice warble.
So atmospheric.
Super atmospheric, really dreamy. Almost
sounds like we're at church.
I love it, exactly. Yeah, it's such a cool sound. And you can really, right now it's pretty cranked, like you can really have it be super subtle. Yeah.
I love the dreamy
I love it,
vibe.
yeah. I'm a big sucker for like mid-rangey, dreamy tones. I just love it. So the next, I have a couple reverbs. I think Mike took you through this one. This is just super simple. This is the Procession.
Sure.
And our dude Brady is just, I think that guy is a genius.
Old Blunders makes some cool stuff. And
unbelievable.
Almost everyone I know with that pedal is like, it's not leaving my board. Yeah.
It's incredible. And I actually, funny enough, since my reverb tank is kind of iffy, I often, what I do is I roll the effects, the after effects off of it, and I just use it as a bass reverb a lot of times. So right now, that's actually how it's being used right now. Just as simple, nice hall reverb, you know.
It's traily, but not
traily.
annoying.
Yeah, but if I wanted, there's a couple times where I'll dial these in to have like, I think this is on the trem right now. You get a little bit of that slow trem.
Very subtle.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of hear it in there. You can have it real soft, or you can kind of dial it in big, you know. And then, let's see, that is not being used. This is the Empress, which is an incredible reverb and multi-effect. It's crazy, this thing.
Does it do delays too?
It does delays, it does sparkle. You can add like sparkle on top of it. Now, right now I'm just using it as a plate reverb. For certain things that I need just a little bit of slap. But you can preset it. There's so much functionality on that thing too. I'm kind of still learning it, to be honest, but you can do all sorts of effects and have that stored in and A/B that sort of stuff. So that's pretty cool. But and then obviously what I'm doing here is with the looper, you know, whatever.
Turning the pedals on and off.
Exactly,
sure,
yeah. And whatever I want, like if I wanted a certain preset with these effects, I could store it, you know, with whatever preset I'm on.
So cool.
Which is super great, yeah. Let's see, this is just a Guyatone vibrato, yeah. Someone gave Aaron this pedal like a few years ago.
Sounds like a nice vibe.
It's nice, man. Yeah, it's great. I use it for a lot of the Foxes stuff, like Catch Rust stuff. It just is really clean, really nice and bright. But I use it a lot. I love it. It's a really, again, I don't know much about that pedal, but it was just like given to us.
It's awesome.
It's always been on my board now. So, this is just the timeline. It's on kind of a weird setting now, but the timeline I love. Yeah, if I go down to my thing. But yeah, it's such a cool. Real atmospheric. But yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with the timeline, but
yeah, man,
it's super great. And a lot of those like top tier ones have so much functionality. They so
almost
much
like too much. Like,
it kind of is.
Did you go through presets, or did you really tweak your own?
I tweaked my own, and
there's so many presets that
it's nuts.
Yeah.
To be totally honest, I don't even use the like right half. I use like I use the like digital delay, the tape delay, the bucket a little bit. Like I used kind of some of the ones on the left side. The right side gets a little like strange, some of the effects they have, but it's cool that it can do it if I ever wanted to mess with it.
And since it is MIDI compatible with a switcher, you can actually change the presets that pedal.
That's really the thing about it that's so great. Yeah,
so
is that
cool.
I don't have to worry about it. And it still has the tap functionality too. If I want to change during a song, like if we start a little too fast,
you can slow it down,
I can do it on the spot, which is great. So it's super great. And then we're getting into my drives. So this, I'll start with this one. This is just the MXR, the modified. Real basic. Yeah. I love it though. It just really, really crunchy.
It's not over the top, but it's
yeah, super basic. But like I said, I've had that pedal for years, man, and it's super great. As far as for the A to B stuff, this is the Iron Horse. I can't remember if Mike has his on his board, but this is the Walrus audio, and they're incredible too. Just awesome guys. And
so if for your gainier stuff, you're
super heavy. Yeah, just really. Yeah, just really
That's
big.
Wild.
Thick.
I don't know how it sounds to you guys from our tiny little Cameron preamps, but man, that thing is pushing some air big
nuts.
time.
And the level, if you see, it's not even Unity. I mean, it's not 12 o'clock at least. It's past Unity game, but yeah, it's a loud pedal. It's crazy, but it has such a nice breakup, and for the A to B stuff, it's just like. It's perfect. Yeah.
Money, huh?
So it's great. This is the Molar T-Rex Overdrive. Super simple. It's a little bit. It's kind of like if you stage the gains. This is like the lowest. Oh, like nice little crunch. Yeah.
Sounds like an amp just
barely starting to break up. So I use that. Then the coolest thing about this is that it actually has a boost. So if I need lead,
if you're gonna
tones,
solo or something,
exactly, yeah. And you can really make that subtle or like super banked, you know. So
I actually have a couple of those T-Rex series pedals, and they're awesome. They're built like a tank.
I used to have the older version, which was kind of like a seafoam. It was a beautiful pedal actually, but it broke on me, and they were amazing. I had bought that online, like off Craigslist or something. And I contacted the company. They were like, "Yeah, just send that in. We'll send you new." Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
those guys are so awesome.
Oh, they're so great, man. They sent me that, and it's been another mainstay on my board.
Totally,
so, super cool. And then last but not least is the Pog, which I use that a lot for like like little lines
Sure.
and sweater and stuff like that. Yeah, but it, again, for like atmospheric stuff, I love having all that stuff on. Just real atmospheric.
Like an ocean of sound.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
So,
I love it,
I
man.
love washy, just kind of dreamy stuff. But yeah, it looks super complicated, but this helps it be really simple.
Yeah, man, I'm totally impressed. That's really cool.
It's cool, man. Nice and clean.
It's a
easy.
good board. It's not too big. It's not crazy.
No,
Yeah, but it covers a lot of sonic space. I mean, you could do a lot of fun noises with that thing.
Yeah, and the Temple Audio dudes are just great. The guys who made this board.
Did they wire it?
No. I did it myself,
You did, because it's clean. I mean, it looks
It's
right,
awesome.
right
And
on.
it took a little while, and it still needs a little bit of love underneath. I'm running like the Phoenix, the power supply. And so it's got all kinds of wires going on it. I would show you, but I don't want to freak you out.
I love that it fits all under there, and you don't have to mess with that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's super cool, man. I love it. But I like having a nice clean board for sure. Yeah.
Well, hey, you pulled it off.
Yeah, man.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate this.
Of course,
this
man.
is
It's my
very, very
pleasure, for
exciting,
sure,
man.
Yeah.
Pale Horses, the appendix is out. You can check that out. Pale Horses is rad if you haven't heard the newer stuff.
Yeah.
Will Yip,
working on the new stuff. It's coming out soon.
we're stoked on that, dude, big time. And I can't wait for tonight.
Man.
So thank you
Yeah,
very,
thank
very
you
much.
so
One
much,
more time.
man. Yeah,
Put it
our
there.
pleasure, for sure.
Yeah.
Peace.
Another rig rundown, Perry for Premier Guitar.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on PremierGuitar.com.